and welcome to the 164th edition of Beer Issues. My name is Matt Brucker, and I'm coming to you live here from Casa de Brucker, where we're going to be having another outstanding beer from the New Belgium Brewing Company. Today we're going to be having the 1554. So I'm going to go ahead and open up this beer, and we're going to talk about this. The 1554 is what they would call a European dark lager, okay? And that's kind of an odd name for a style of beer, but there's actually another name of the beer. It's actually called a Zwart, Z-W-E-R-T, which is Flemish for a black beer, okay? Now, as we pour this, I'm going to actually try and get a little bit of head on here so we can get all the aromas out of it, because this is kind of a unique beer. We're going to talk about what a Zwart beer is, because the beer actually uses something called Gruit, G-R-U-I-T, for its bitterness. So with a lot of beers, they use hops, but in this beer, they use Groot, or like in the Avengers, I am Groot, right? Spelled a little bit different though. But anyway, so let's go ahead and let's smell this beer. So I get the smell of the dark malts. And I think of one of the things that they use when they're making this Groot, and they actually in this type of beer, a Zwart beer, the Groot actually replaces the hops a lot of times. Now I don't know if they put hops in here or this is just botanicals, but I can tell that one of the items that is in here is anise. Okay, because I get a scent of like black licorice, sort of an anise type scent I get in there, but I definitely get a lot of malt, like dark malts. Now they also use the European lager yeast, and then I'm not really sure, but the way they prepare the beer, they cook it at a temperature. See, I'm not a brewer, but my understanding is they put this on the low end of the temperature, and then they cook this beer when they cook this beer. So it's the low end of the ales spectrum for making beer. So. Now, I also get another scent in this beer. It's chocolate. Okay, I get definitely a scent of chocolate, and it could be chocolate malts that they're using. Now, this Zwart style of beer dates back to 1285. I think was when they originally started making a Zwart beer. But it didn't get popular until it was in a book in the year 1554, which is why this beer is called 1554. It was a very popular beer back in 1554. So that's, I believe, where the 1554 did originally come from. So anyway, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and dig into this beer. Now, it is a unique beer. I get a chocolatey, malty mix, but I don't get like a hoppy finish. So I'm assuming it's very low hops, if any. It's going to be all just what they call the botanicals, which is just a mixture of different herbs, okay, that they use versus using the hops. Yeah. So it's a really nice malty, chocolatey. It's not heavy. It's not heavy like a porter or a stout. It's not even like a like a Schwarzbier, a German Schwarzbier, which is also kind of light. This is actually, to me, is lighter than any of this beers that are usually this darker. There is a light red in there, but I would say it's definitely a dark brown to black color. And for a beer of that color, you expect it to be a little bit heavier. And especially with the strong malty and chocolatey flavors, you expect it to be heavy, but it's really quite light and refreshing. The beer is a 6% alcohol by volume. It's rated 86 out of 100, which makes it a very good beer. And I'll have to agree, I could definitely see myself sitting around and having a couple of these, because this is quite a delightful beer. Like I said, it's not hoppy, so if there are hops in this beer, there aren't a lot of hops, or they disguise them well, however it is. But I can get a little bit of that taste of the anise or the black licorice type flavor in there. But I would say more than that, more pronounced than that, are the malty, chocolatey goodness in this beer. But those flavors tend to lean towards a heavier beer, but the beer is not heavy at all. It's kind of magic how they've created this beer. Oh, this is wonderful. Anyway, I'm going to sit back and enjoy this beer. Now, if you've enjoyed this and learned anything about Zwart beers, make sure you tell your friends about how much fun we're having talking about beers and drinking good quality beers like this one. And if you want any cool gear, hats, phone cases, t-shirts, make sure you go to shop.beerissues.com. And as my wife likes to say, I have beer issues.